Welcome to the vlog for my first go through of Shift-a-thon, which is a paranormal urban fantasy readathon, and I found out about this readathon from Thoughts on Tomes on YouTube, so I thought I might participate in it because I love urban fantasy. And I have got book mail, so I thought I might talk about what my plans are while I'm opening stuff. So my general goal is to read two audiobooks, one ebook, and then a physical book. Whether that happens completely, I don't know, but that is my goal and I'm moving towards it, and so far I'm doing well. I'm reading the Kate Daniels Magic Bites by Elena Andrews. I read Fated Mates, or Fated Blades by her, and I really liked it, even though it was like a novella and this is like a novel. But so far, so good. So the first piece of mail is exciting because it's actually a graphic novel that I really, really enjoy. Sorry. Here we go. So this is Check Please Sticks and Stones, which is the second Check Please book. This follows Eric Bittle, who's on the cover here, who is at the start, I think he's like a freshman in college, and he loves to bake, and he was a former figure skater turned ice hockey player. And this is the second volume, so this picks up for his last 2 years in college. I believe I'm getting the first volume soon, but I have this and the first book on ebook, and I want to get a physical copy for my shelves because I love it so much. Like, I reread this and I feel so much joy. Now for my favourite, it's my comic delivery from King's Comics. I have recently gotten back into reading comics, and I'm also part of the King's Comics, I think, gold card service, where you get 10% off your order, which has been really, really good. So there's only two in here, but there are no local comic shops around me. The only comic shop is one that has like it's a sort of joke shop, and it's got like older comics, but it's not like a dedicated comic shop. Where the one in Sydney, and I have one that I buy from on the Gold Coast, in Queensland as well, and they sustain me, and every time I go down to Sydney I stop by there. I have Batgirls #3, a variant. Stephen Cass looks so good. And then we have Kal-El, Superman Son of Kal-El #8 with Calder, or yeah, this one on the front as well. So this is going to be really good. Ooh, hopefully there will be a review of these two on my Graphathon vlog when I get to it. But yeah, that's the intro, and I will see you guys in the next. I got book mail from the Amplify bookstore. So Amplify Books is a online only bookstore similar to Off the Book Pages, who I've talked about before, but they stock all diverse books. It's really, really cool. And so I got 3. First one I got is the Princess Stakes by Emily Howard. Look at that cover. I read the Destiny Surrender by Beverly Jenkins, and this has just kicked off a whole sort of this reading mood for me. And just, yeah, there is another one in this series that I really want to get, but I want to read this one first. And I think the audiobooks are on Scribd, so I might pick up either on Scribd or on Audible, but I might pick up the audiobook to read alongside, because I really enjoy sometimes just sitting and reading, but also hearing the story. Next one I got was Once More Upon a Time by Roshani Chokshi. I really loved her first novel, I just had it in my brain. Oh yeah, The Star-Touched Queen. I really love The Star-Touched Queen, and I've seen this on Audible as well. And I really wanted to read it, and I really like this cute little packaging. And then we got The Boy with Fire. This has been advertised to me a lot on Twitter, probably because I follow the author. I follow the author on Twitter, and also just in general on TikTok, it's been advertised really heavily. So I picked it up. It's quite chunky, and it's going to be good when I'm in a fantasy mood again, because for some reason stories about gods and mythology has been really, I've been devouring those really a lot lately. But those are all the 3 books that I got. I also got another big package from a W, which is mainly just homewares, but it's been an interesting day. So I haven't done much updating for the vlog for Shift-a-thon, so I thought I might update you guys about what's happening. So I got a more heavy workload the week that Shift-a-thon started, so my focus has been on that, and I work with a counsellor doing admin for her, and I also work doing admin and helping out with dog training. So the workload has kind of increased as we've grown, so I haven't had much time to like put all my efforts into reading. And there was also I tried to finish a prompt with a graphic novel, which is not against the rules. I can read whatever format I want, but I picked DC vs Vampires #1, just because I was like, oh, it's quick, like it's a short book, I'll be able to finish it. I did finish it, but I thought it was just middle of the road okay, and that didn't put me in the best mindset to start reading other things. So I was like, okay, not going to attempt to read much. I am 1 hour away from finishing Magic Bites, the first book in the Kate Daniel series by Ilona Andrews. I found at first I wasn't really enjoying myself, but I'm like, let's give it like an hour, because most of the first of it was exposition and to understand what was going on, but it was so like sort of force-fed to you. It wasn't like they were just discussing stuff, like it was force-fed. And the narrator for Kate, I initially found her voice I didn't really enjoy her voice, but as the book progressed and we finally met like the Lion Shifter and the whole clan and the whole like other players in the game, my enjoyment has increased, and now we've gotten to the point where the character development is happening. I've also been devouring a book by Lillian Lark called Deceived by the Gargoyles. It's a gargoyle romance. This is for the prompt, a creature from religion, churches, gargoyles. This, good. It's bringing me all the joy and all the feels that my limited capacity for reading can intake. And it's about a witch and 3 gargoyles who get together and start having a relationship. So yeah, I've got 3 hours, 12 minutes left on this. I also wanted to just highlight another book that I'm currently reading on my Kindle, which I got an advanced copy of, which is Legends and Lattes by Travis Baldry. Hopefully I'm saying that right. This is basically an adventurer has retired and decides to open a coffee shop in a strange new town, and the assistant that she hires, and just the whole cast of characters, and there is a sapphic romance. So far I've just gone up to the point where she's hired an assistant, which is the second person on the cover. I'm really enjoying it. I have started playing D&D, and we just finished our first campaign this beginning of this year, and we're on Curse of Strahd campaign. I really enjoyed myself, and I did want to play as my character again many years down the road when she's done adventuring. So to read this was really what I wanted out of that experience before we started Curse of Strahd. But so far I'm really enjoying Legends and Lattes. Please pre-order it, and by the time this video comes out it would be released, because it releases on the 22nd. So please go buy it. It's fun. It's just what you need sometimes. It's a cozy fantasy. I want more cozy fantasy. Okay, I want, people in a fantasy world just doing mundane things, and there's no big world-shattering event. It's just, I'm moving to a new town, want to open up a business, and the challenges and that. It's slice of life, cozy fantasy, and it's great. So that's what I'm doing. I want to finish Magic Bites, and hopefully I can finish Lillian Lark's Deceived by the Gargoyles. So at least I'll have 3 out of 5, which for a short readathon, I would be really impressed with myself. But I'm not going to put that much pressure on myself, considering that most of my brain space has been taken up by presentations, admin and all that. I very rarely these days have time to just absorb a novel, but I will let you guys catch up in the next clip. I have an update for this blog finally, and I think it's the final day of the readathon, but I have an update and I'm so happy about this. And I finally finished Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark, which is book 2 in the Monster Matcher series, book 1 being Stalked by the Kraken. I love this. This was great. I love Grace as a character. I love all the individual gargoyles. There were 3 of them, so it's a polycule situation. And this was just really fun. It follows Grace, who wants to have a family and wants to have children. And so she goes to Rose, the matchmaker, and she's like, can I be matched with someone? And she's matched with Elliot the Gargoyle. But Elliot the Gargoyle has a secret. He has 2 other mates, Broderick and Alistair, and then says to Grace, we are all mated and we want you to join us because we believe you would be perfect here. And so they begin courting her in their own different ways. You've had someone who can cook, someone who can use their hands or claws in a variety of ways, and you have someone who's well-read, and you also have sort of not the matriarch and patriarch, but another couple that is human, gargoyle. So you got a witch and gargoyles, and then you got the human and the gargoyle, and it's all just a nice time, and I really enjoyed myself. The main conflict was essentially a old ex-boyfriend gone rogue in Theo, who just wanted Grace for her money, essentially, but there was a lot of scenes where it's just it felt very real. And at the back it was Amelia's book was teased, and I am excited for Amelia's book because Amelia is Grace's human best friend who just found out that magic and all this exists at the end of the book. Oh, I'm most excited. And that sort of finishing this sort of gave me a little bit of a spark back that I felt from when I finished DC versus Vampires #1. And yeah, but also there are a lot of releases today, and I just wanted to mention some that I pre-ordered that came out. First of all, Legends and Lattes is now out, so go get the Orc Sapphic coffee shop D&D romance, please. It's so good. Then The Good Girl's Guide to Rakes by Eva Lee is out. Crown of Shadows Relic #1 by Kerry Arthur is also out today. Whole host of things are being out, and I'm excited, and I'm just very excited myself personally. So yeah, I will let you guys know in the next step when I wrap up how I did in the redesign. So I'm just going to wrap up my Shift-a-thon vlog here, and I'll just talk about what I read. So for the prompt to read a book featuring shifters that is not werewolves, I read Magic Bites by Kate Daniels, Magic Bites by Elena Andrews, Kate Daniels books, book 1. And this was interesting. It was sort of like a whodunit murder mystery, but have like supernatural creatures involved. I think Kate as a character is going to be interesting to see her develop, but she felt very one-dimensional at times. Like there was no real sort of change. She was still, oh, I work alone, oh, da, 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 da. And it got repetitive after a while. However, Curran, the lion shifter, is my baby boy. He was such a fun character. He was such a good foil to Kate. He was just the best. And then we had Kate got this like bodyguard that was younger than her, but she was like protective of him. Derek was, again, sweet sunshine child of mine. Oh, so I would be interested to read the second book, but the first book was a solid 3 stars. Oh, like it was fine. It was a fun adventure, but that was really it. Like I enjoyed myself, but I wouldn't. The next one that I read, which is probably my favorite that I gave 5 stars, which was Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark. And this is about a plus-sized witch who goes to a matchmaker at a love bathhouse for supernaturals to find matches, love matches, and she gets paired up with a gargoyle named Elliot. The little does she know that Elliot has 2 other mates, and he wants to court Grace and have Grace join his family of gargoyles. This was a trip, but it was so much fun. It was a lot of fun. I loved it. I do want to read Stalked by the Kraken now, which is the first book, and there was a tease for Amelia's book at the end of this one, which is Grace's book, and Grace was a character that I really, really loved. If Kate Daniels didn't, like, if she sort of stayed stale throughout all of her book, like stayed the same virtually, Grace, like, she went through such a great character arc. I really, really loved all the characters. I loved all the relationships. I can see the individual relationships that make up this huge polycule. And it was really, really fun. It was really, really fun. I loved it a lot. The last prompt that I was able to complete was a book featuring vampires. I first attempted this with Midnight Secretary #2, but I was very disappointed. Like the first volume of Midnight Secretary was really good, had really good setup, but it's from like it's an older manga, and there's obviously tropes and character stocks that I don't like anymore. Like the main vampire guy was like, oh, you know, you're mine even if we're broken up. Like, you're mine even if, like, I choose to break up with you. And I was like, I thought he was going to be different. I thought, like, he was going to be, like, a smug yet redeemable main character. But no, he was just... So then I read DC vs. Vampires #1, and this was also just mid. Like, it was okay. It wasn't great. It wasn't, like, the best thing, but it was, you know, a story about someone coming to the Justice League for help and saying, you know, the vampires are after me. They're like, I'm a deserter and I'm trying to bring this information to you so you can sort of kill them. And it turns out that Hal, aka Green Lantern, is now a vampire. And that is the gist of the issue 1. And it was just okay. It was a setup book. Like, obviously you've got to read the rest of the series. But yeah, so the 2 that I enjoyed the most were Magic Bites by Kate Daniels and Deceived by the Gargoyles by Lillian Lark. and I think DC vs. Vampires was okay. Like, if you enjoy vampire stories and like the Walking Dead-esque kind of thing, you'd enjoy it, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. No, I enjoyed Shift-a-thon. I think if I had not been so distracted by work, and also the readathon was just like a few days longer, I would have been able to complete all 5 challenges. But 3 out of 5 ain't bad, so, you know, look forward to the next round, and yeah, this was enjoyable, and I look forward to doing it again. Bye, guys.